Well, I think that God uses lots of things in lots of different segments of our lives to form us. So again, there's no reason to think that work would somehow be segmented off like that. God uses our home life to form us. God uses our life at church or with friends or whatever to form us. So God uses work to form us as well. The question is, are we open to that? If we ourselves don't see that God is already at work, and I am joining God there, if I don't see it like that, if I see it as something that God is something that I'm bringing into work with me as sort of a resource so maybe I can do work better, I think that's backwards. What if we see it that God is already there? God is already in the midst of the world, in the midst of our work, and we just need eyes to see it and ears to hear it and hearts to receive it. And to the extent that we do, then work can become formative. So there was a French monk in the 1600s named Brother Lawrence. He wrote a book called The Practice of the Presence of God. And as a monk, he had different jobs in the monastery. For a little while, he was a cobbler. He fixed shoes. But he also worked in the kitchen. And he spent about 16 years just washing dishes and fixing food for his brothers in the monastery. And there's this great quote that he has from his book. And he says, this is a prayer of his as he was washing dishes. He says, "Lord of all pots and pans and things, make me a saint by getting meals and washing up the plates." Brother Lawrence didn't see the presence of God as being segmented off to church or to moments of devotional prayer or reading the Bible or anything like that. Brother Lawrence saw God as being present everywhere, even in washing pots and pans. So maybe we, in the midst of our work, can realize that God is already there, and it's just about us being aware of God's presence and being open and willing to be used by God in whatever ways, even if we're washing pots and pans or pushing a broom or pushing paper or typing on a computer or whatever it might be. How might I see myself as being a person of God in that moment? And how is this work forming me? And how is this work involving me in what God is already doing? Work can malform us when work becomes seen as the thing that defines us, or the sole thing that defines us. When work becomes seen as an end rather than a means, and when it is not seen within the kingdom of God. So the question then becomes, do I see this work as the sole thing that defines me? Or do I see the end of this work as the sole thing that defines me? I think when that happens, then it can be malforming. I think that it can be formational for us when we see this work as a particular location where I can express my identity as a Christian. Whenever I see business or work as that, or whenever I see any aspect of my life as that, then it becomes formative, because then it is a site where I am interacting with God and where God is forming me, where God is using me for God's kingdom, just like anywhere else. And when that happens, then not only is work formative, but it is a site, it is a location of God's presence and God's activity in the world. And that's where the kingdom of God and life are.